Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I hope y'all are doing good. Hi, hi. Hi, hi. Hope y'all are doing good. Don't worry. I'll stretch and I'll hydrate and I'll say something in lolly voice. All right. Oh, all right. I will. Yeah. Good morning, Oni-chan. Hey, Schmuggins. Hey, cute silly boy. Hi, hi. Very odd time for me to go live. But I was like, you know what? I've got some stuff I want to talk about because I'm just bored. And it's bright and early in the afternoon. Not afternoon, but nah, it's kind of getting late in the afternoon. But you know what? Fuck it. I just want to hang out and make up for yesterday's terrible stream. Yeah. All right. Aww. Well, you could have DM'd me, silly cutie. I did. You missed it. You missed it. I already said it. I already said the thing you wanted me to say, Baka. Gotta pay attention. Oh my... You're gonna have to redeem it again if you want me to do it again. You know that, right? You know, I'm joking. It's fine because you missed it. Good morning, Oni-chan. There we go. You're welcome. Tell to stop... God dang it. Well, fucking there you go. Well, you, like I said, you could have DM'd me, Schmuggins. If you're lonely, you could have... Alright. like you could... Like, Schmuggins, like... You're welcome, cutie. But yeah, if you're lonely, like I said, you could have just DM'd me. Next time, if you're lonely, just reach out to me. I wouldn't mind voice chatting or, talking to you. I love talking to you. You're very sweet. You're very sweet, and you are very, very nice to talk to. Aw, Schmuggins, aw, you're so sweet. Thank you for the bits. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yay! Yay, 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 yay! Yay! Meow, 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 meow. But yeah, I hope y'all are doing lovely today. I'm doing great. I got a haircut today. I got a shower. I'm a happy angel. That's fine. It doesn't matter how much you give me. Any amount is totally fine. Because at the end of the day, you're supporting me financially, and it's gonna help. Fuck, I mean, and it's gonna help. No, and it's gonna help my. I mean, and it's gonna. Fuck it. And it's. Fuck it. And it's gonna help my Twitch payout be a lot better. Maybe it'll be as good as Yuki's, or if not more, maybe. Hello, hi. Oh, wow. Long time no see, silly cutie. I hope you're doing good. Long time no see. Holy crap. So, wow. Holy shit. What the fuck are you doing? Is X okay? Fuck! And I missed good artwork. God dang it. Whatever. I already have an alternative model. I already do. Silly Smuggins. I already do. But I just don't have any... But here's the thing. It does not use iPhone tracking. That's a downgrade. Unless they update it and make it where it's compatible and make like an iOS version so you can sync it to your computer to do iOS tracking. Ah, I see. Damn, really? Well, damn, really? Like, wow. I hope it didn't stress you out too much. But welcome back. I've missed you. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing good. I missed you, Mama Dust Bunny. Hopefully you're doing great. And hopefully you're staying safe out in the chaotic modern human world. that's awesome. Hopefully I'll be able to drop by and say hey, you know? But yeah, I'm glad you're doing good. And yeah, I'm up to nothing much just now, just hanging out, wanting to chat with you all. You know, ow. But yeah. Based. Whoa. Aww. I love Cinco-san. Cinco-san's wife. She really is. Is that... That's Kayuki. Wow. Wow. Sorry, I just awoke big. Why are you trying to peek under my censored yo skirt? Holy fucking shit. I'm gonna have to save this artwork. I'm dragging that to desktop. That's a nice Twitter artwork for today. That's another good Kayuki artwork. Perfect. Oh, I wish I could show y'all this. Holy shit. Fucking Zako, 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 Zako. Zako, Zako. Gotta love me some fucking Kayuki. Also love me the cute, and also love Yuki. Yuki Nikarasu. Cutest boy Yuki, too. But anyway. That's just great. Holy. But anyway. I'm going to be talking about some stuff today, for sure. And one of the stuff I'm wanting to get into is, by the way, I am so sick and fucking tired. Actually, no. You know what? I'll talk about this, because this is something else, yeah. I am so sick and fucking tired of censorship. I am so sick of it. I am so sick of it. I've had it up to here with censorship. I'm sick and tired of people being racist against the Japanese and censoring their stuff because it's got a Japanese anime art style. Like, it's so cringe. I hate when people censor anime works and manga and mangakas and all this other shit. I hate it. Like, I don't know why in the world we're okay, or the society is starting to just get okay with payment processors and shit, just censoring and debanking people for creating fictional content that will not hurt anybody, by the way. Fucking lolly segs, whoa cunny, whoa sex. I can say whatever the hell whatever the hell I want about lollies. And I don't give a shit what anybody thinks, to be quite honest. But yeah. I think it's very cringe and very not very woke of you, quote unquote, as a joke. I don't say that word, but that's a meme. That's a meme where somebody says, like, that's not very woke of you. Ha! Oh, shit. Holy fucking shit. Oh, I love my Papa 2K's artwork. Oh, so... Yeah, they should. God, that's so flat. Oh. Peak lolly art. But yeah, I think it's very, very stupid, and we should not put up with this, to be honest. We should just... Ah, shit, damn it. Oh. But yeah, we shouldn't put up with this bullshit. We shouldn't. We shouldn't have to put up with this and let Steam and some Steam and let some of Steam's fault and let payment processors censor shit. Like, it's fucking cringe. And if anybody celebrates censorship, I will say this: anybody that celebrates censorship is immediately going to get blocked by me on Twitter and probably shunned and kicked out of my community, to be honest. Because here's the thing. I am pro freedom of speech and creative freedom, alright? I'm pro both of that. I do not like censorship. And anybody who advocates for censorship, get out of my community. Stop following me. You're not welcomed here. Because you're gonna hurt my freedoms as a lolly VTuber. Like, look at me. Like, look at me. I'm a cute, silly little angel. Look at me. I'm a cute, silly little angel. I can't hurt you. I can't hurt you. And I don't wanna. But yeah, like, cause recently I heard that there was like this completely safe work Japanese game that was gonna be released on Steam, and they denied releasing it and debanked their bank. And the guy that made the game could not get paid for making that game. That is complete, utter bullshit, to be honest. And shame on all the banks and payment processors for bending the knee and acting like a mafia, all because some stupid activists hate men, hate gamers, hate anime, hate everything. They have nothing better to do than just hating everything in their life. Like, go touch some grass. Go to, like, Starbucks and get yourself a coffee. Sit down, open your laptop, watch YouTube. Flip open your laptop, watch YouTube, do something. Or just go on a vacation and go to the beach or something. It is beach season. It's almost summer where I'm at. Okay, I stretched. And I'll hydrate soon. For you, cute and bunny. But yeah. Good boy. Wow, voice crack. Good boy. Good, cute, silly boy. Proud of you. Proud of you. This little angel's proud of you. And I basically went to go touch grass earlier today because I went outside to do more deck work because a plank came loose. Even though I already nailed it down, apparently wasn't enough. I should have just added another nail. Yeah, I should have just added another nail, to be honest. And then I took out... while I was outside, I caught a little baby green anole lizard. It was a baby one, and I was able to catch it in time. And thank God I didn't accidentally squish it, but I caught him. He opened his mouth angrily at me, tried to bite me. But he calmed down, and I gave him some head pats and some back rubs, and then I let him go and let the little baby lizard go out on its own, back to nature, back to live its new life. But yeah, and then I took out the trash, and then that was that. Then I went to go take out the trash, and then that, then I went to go take out the trash, and that was that. Okay, cool. You know what? I'm not doing. It's here, Kizu. It's here. Okay, let me see. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Holy shit. That view is amazing. That's breathtaking. That's beautiful. I can see all the valleys and mountains. Yeah, that's beautiful. Excellent photography, to be honest. Oh, I see. Well, to be near an industrial zone, it looks amazing. It looks like nothing is impacting the environment. It looks beautiful out there. The only critique I can say is that it's a little bit fuzzy. The picture is a little bit fuzzy. The picture is just a little bit fuzzy. I can see like some stuff being blown out from the camera and all that, but other than that, it's an excellent photo. You did a great job. Very beautiful. It would look even more pretty if I could visit you and I could take a picture of that with my iPhone 16 camera. Yeah, it does. Not gonna lie, if there was no bugs out there and I wasn't afraid of bugs, I would just go out there in the middle of the grass, lay down on it, and stare at the sunny sky. That's what I'd do. That's what I'd do as a kid. Not kid, but I mean, out of character. Yes, that's what I would do as a kid. But no, didn't. But no, that's what I would do as a little angel. Yeah, I see. I see. But yeah, very, very pretty. I would love to go sightseeing like that and go visit some mountains or something. Yeah, that's totally fine. Hello? What? Okay, there's too much notifications. Okay. Mark all is red. Holy shit. I'm overwhelmed. Jesus Christ, Discord. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and also ants. And also ants. Some sort of gnats, spiders. Because there's always the little spiders that run around in the grass. I used to be okay doing that because there was a little angel. I really didn't think of it much. But yeah, the only thing that is much, like, actually dangerous. True. Ah, shit. Damn it. I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel a little bit bad. I was gonna watch. Tio really wanted me to watch a stream today, and I wasn't there, and now he's deeply hurt. Ah, dang it. Don't, I said. God dang it. Man, hurry. Stupid. Like, God dang it. Poor Tio. Hopefully he feels better. Poor, silly, cute T.O. Like, I just got done talking to them and told them, I was like, look, sorry, buddy. I was like, look, sorry, buddy. I ended up oversleeping this morning, and I ended up having to do chores, and I was busy. Chores. But yeah. I was good, though, but I just had to explain to T.O. that I didn't mean for it to hurt him. Damn. That's not what I was trying to do. Yeah, they are annoying, yeah. And also mosquitoes. Don't forget the infamous annoying mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes. And also other types of critters and stuff that we go in the woods, like snakes. Turtles don't pose a threat. Unless they're snapping turtles in like a wild like river or lake. But turtles, lizards are okay. Butterflies, caterpillars, grasshoppers, crickets, you know, everything else is okay. But yeah. Yeah. But yeah. If you come by and you're seeing this, Tio, sorry once again. I did not mean to miss your stream. I really am deeply sorry about that. Ah, jeez. But they are streaming tomorrow, so I did promise them that I did promise them. Then I did promise them that I am coming tomorrow to their stream. They're going to be collabing with Charlotte. Be sure to go visit them, give them lots of love and support, and also be sure to drop by and say hey to them tomorrow when they stream. Yeah, shout out to Tio. Tio can be very silly at times, and Tio can be kind of harsh at times, but kind of harsh as in criticizing, like criticizing, which criticizing is okay, or which criticism's okay. Ah, that's awesome. If I'm not a dummy, I'm probably gonna stream Sunday too. Only one way to find out. Only one way to find out. Nope. Nope. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, only one way to find out. Actually, I'm going to be able to hydrate soon because my grandma's bringing back some strawberry lemonade from Wendy's. So I'm going to have me some nice lemonade to suck on. Or a nice drink to suck on. Also, I decided to use a BGM from a game called... Actually, I'm not going to say it. But I decided to use a BGM for today's starting soon stream. For the stream starting soon music. Instead of the normal copyright-free Japanese traditional music, Mysterious Kyoto. That's what I've always used. And then sometimes I do the 8-bit version. Because there is a decent copyright-free Japanese-inspired music YouTube channel that's actually made by somebody that is in Japan and is Japanese and is very awesome because of that. No, back, you asshole! You asshole! I can immediately hear that in their accent. You asshole! That's as good as I can do it. That's as good as I can mimic Tio's cute little accent. Tio's got a cute accent. And also, I can't say this enough. Filipino boys are the cutest. And also Indonesian, by the way. I don't know what is not what is wrong, but I don't know what is with these two countries, but holy shit. The cutest boys come from there, I swear to God. Like, holy shit. They have the most cutest boys that come from there. Yuki, Tio, and then for Indonesian, you got Crimson Frontier, you got Krim, then you got Kaisaragi, you name it. Then the other Filipino that I know, which is an actual girl, is Starblaze. They also live in the Philippines, and they're also very sweet and very cute for a girl. They're very adorable. They're precious. Yeah, they're always very sweet and very cute. But also, they can be also very upfront and very direct, which doesn't translate well sometimes to my culture, for example. Because sometimes it comes off as rude when they're not trying to. It's just the way their culture is. It's respectful, up forward, straight to the point, like one and done type deal, which is good. Bow. But yeah. I mean, you do know Kaisaragi. Yeah, he is. You do know Kaisaragi. Kai Saragi's Indonesian. He's cute. He's a cutie boy. But also Yuki, yes. Yeah, Yuki by far is the cutest is the cutest boy. By far. And you're the second cutest boy. And I'd say honestly, yeah, good. And I'd say Cosmo's the third cutest boy. Like, y'all come in the top 3 of being very cute and very adorable. If I was in another universe and Yuki was not straight, for example, and Cosmo and everybody else, and you would let me date them, y'all would be in the top 3 of people I would like to date. I mean, y'all are, but we've already been through that in DMs, cough, cough, but... Yeah, oh, whoa! But, yeah. Now you are. But also, y'all are in the top 3, so that's good. It's like in Mario Kart. As long as you win in 3rd, 2nd, or 1st, you're okay. Or at least if you win in 2nd and 3rd, you're okay. If you get 4th place, you're fucked. Unless it's Mario Kart 8, then if you get in 4th place, they actually don't play the losing music and fuck you over. But if we're talking about the OG Mario Kart Wii, then yeah, 4th place, nuh-uh. You lose. But no, y'all are in the top 3, so enjoy. Me, I think you're almost as cute. Me, I'd say you're almost as cute as Yuki, by the way. So that's why you come in 2nd, by the way. And Cosmo comes in 3rd, cause still very cute. And still, if I ever could date somebody, I'd definitely date Cosmo, for example. Cosmo's adorable. And also, for the love of God, Cosmo needs to get through his silly little head that he is cute. Whether he likes it or not, he is cute. He's not disgusting or ugly or whatever the heck he says in Yuki server. Nah, that's false. He's certified a cutie. And Kizu said so. He doesn't win. He always loses. He's always cute. End of story. Silly cute schmuggins. But yeah, anyway. But here's the thing, I've never thought about this, but I wonder what tier list I fall into. Not tier list, but I wonder how cute I am. I doubt I'm that cute. But I wonder how many people thinks I'm cute in Yuki's server. Or how many people thinks I'm a cute silly boy too. Because I never thought about it, to be honest. I'm always the one that says everybody's a cute silly boy when they are, but me, it's not. I don't know. I didn't realize that there's another way around this. What about me? No, thank you, Schmuggins. Glad to hear that. Voice crack. We need to have a voice crack counter. My God. Emmett, thank you, cutie Schmuggins. There we go. Instead of Schmuggins, fucking I sound like a prepubescent girl. Like, what the fuck is going on, man? I keep voice cracking. Geese. It sounded like I said geese. No, geese. That's what it sounded like. It sounded like I said geese or some shit. Ah, jeez. Huh. Well, just some mumblings, by the way, but I wish I could find a processor that I had in my collection that I can use to upgrade a 3rd generation all-in-one Intel computer that I have. But I can't seem to find it. I can't remember. Either I deleted it and threw it away and destroyed it, just to see what was under the IHS, or I'm getting confused with another processor, which I might be, and I still have that 3rd generation Intel Core i5 processor in my collection somewhere lost. Because it was like an Intel Core 3350p. i3? i5! Yeah, it was Intel Core i5 3350p. It 3rd gen Ivy Bridge, Ivy Bridge, but yeah. Oh, it's a 4-core processor, but yeah. But yeah, that's what I want to do, to be honest. Because currently, that all-in-one computer I got in my collection has a Pentium. Pentium suck dick. But I think it's lost to time, to be honest. And I'm just gonna probably have to just wait until I can get an Intel Core i7 3rd generation out of one of my brother's old gaming computers, which is about to upgrade off of soon to something better. Then I'm gonna grab that. Then I'm gonna grab. Then I'm gonna grab that, and then drop it in the all-in-one computer. I mean, in the old days, Pentiums were really strong. Some of them were bad. Some of them were really fast. But if you're buying a Pentium processor in 2026, I don't know about that one, Chief. For example, there still is Pentiums that exist. There's like an Intel Pentium 7505, by the way. Like, I'm sorry, if you're going to buy a computer that's at least going to be decently used without having, not decently used as in secondhand, but decently, like, used by family members and stuff, at least go for an Intel Core i3. A modern Intel Core i3 processor is better. Like, if you're going to cheap out, go for an i3. Don't go for a Pentium. Pentiums are cost efficient, but still. I had an AMD A8, which is an AMD FM2 socket laptop once upon a time. But I broke it and destroyed it like a fucking retard-ass little angel. But yeah, Celerons, the only processor that they don't use anymore is a Celerons, by the way. And there's also Intel Pentium Gold 6500Ys. So they still make Pentium processors, like they're modern Pentium, but if you're gonna get a computer, they suck dick. Don't get a Pentium. Do not get a Pentium. If you're gonna get like at least a home computer for like normal tasks and stuff, at least get an Intel Core i3. Unless you plan to do the most basic web browsing and light video playback, then yeah, get a Pentium computer. Because I used to have a computer that was my, believe it or not, hear me out, alright? It was my very first gaming computer. Alright? It was my very first gaming computer, by the way. It was, hold on. I think it was, hold on. Hold on a second. Let me go. Whoa! Whoa! Dead! Spear beyond. Okay, I was right. Okay, so the first, believe it or not, the first gaming computer that I had, y'all ready for this? Was a Windows 8.1 originally installed on it, a Windows 8.1 Dell Inspiron 660 Slim. It originally came with Windows 8.1. And I loved that thing to pieces. And also hated it to pieces because I was always getting very jealous as a little angel. Wanting a badass gaming computer like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and all these content creators that I watched at the time had. And the games I could run Uh, even the low graphic ones still ran like shit. Like, basically, what I did was eventually I opened it up and I installed an NVIDIA graphics card in it. I might still have it on hand, actually. I still have the graphics card originally I used on hand. Oh, I see, damn. The dreaded GMA. Oh, Lord. Let's see, here it is. Yep, I still got it. I still got it. Oh, shit. Alright, I still got it. Okay, so... And I also jerry-rigged it on... Too, by the way. Okay, so... Okay, so the graphics card that I ended up using was, Is there any writing on this? I do not want to pull off the heatsink just to rub the die and see what it is. I think it was an NVIDIA 300 series something. But this thing originally came in a Dell XPS, like 3rd generation or something. And it was an NVIDIA Graphics 3 something. And basically what I did was, I had an old computer power supply I had, and I took a little fan out of it. It looks like a server grade fan. And what I did was duct tape it to the heatsink, because the original little fan burnt up and stopped spinning on the graphics card. I grabbed this skin-colored duct tape, which is still holding it on, to the graphics card, duct taped it on, and then I took the wires out of the 2-pin connector, pulled it out, and then used the little pin, the little pin things, the little pin things that slide onto a pin on the motherboard. With that interface is a pin on the motherboard that's also got a socket. It's hard to explain, but and this thing basically had VGA, HDMI, and DVI-D, by the way. And the VGA connector no longer exists. I don't know what I did with it, but I honestly wish I could find out what this is. Because it's at least got to be, because it had 1 gigabyte of VRAM. Like, this is the graphics card I used for my very first legit gaming computer that I jerry-rigged up. And I would play Team Fortress 2 on it, Gmod on it, and I would try heavier games like Subnautica for it just not to run. Because at the time, I thought you could buy any gaming PC game and it would run on any system smoothly. Yes. You should have brought it up. Oh, I see. That's fine. Oh, damn. There you go. I smiled for you. Aw, you're adorable. But yeah. So this was my first graphics card. It had a whopping 1 gigabyte of VRAM. I couldn't overclock it, and I thought the reason why it's running slow is it's getting too hot. So this little fan rig on there, for some reason, jerry-rigging this tiny computer fan, this graphics card, made it run on max, and it always sounded like I was running a server grade computer in my room. I thought maybe that'll make it run better. So I would use optimization software, like for example Razer Cortex, to make the games run better, to get rid of stuff running in the background of the computer to try to make it run better, just for it not to work. Because at the time I was stupid, I didn't know. I didn't know that you had to have a better graphics card to play games. And that small form factor had proprietary parts in it, proprietary power supply, that was small form factor, you name it. I wish I could see what graphics card this is. Because I don't want to have to unbolt everything that's on this old graphics card just to look at the GPU die and see what is engraved on the die itself, saying what type of GPU core it is. Yeah, true. Because that was like the strongest amount of memory you could get. But of course, when time goes on, things get weaker and weaker and weaker, and more better stuff come out. There we go. I totally forgot that there was a pin that was shorted. So if I do try to boot, huh? Okay, thanks. So if I do try to boot this graphics card up, it ain't gonna immediately not work in short. Because apparently at some point, I was being stupid and intentionally vandalized the card and bent a pin on the DVI back connector, and I just unbent it out of the way. So now it's not touching anything. I mean, back in the day, I did play some like retro console games when I had an original Xbox and stuff. And I did play Halo Combat Evolved. That's what I should do. I should like. Oh shit. But yeah, I was just saying, like, I should do a whole playthrough of Halo CE. And that's what I should do, to be honest. That would be nice. That would be hella nice, to be honest. That would. Now I can hydrate for you, Cute and Bunny. Now I can. You're welcome. Ah, that's good. Ah, shh. Ah, damn it. I don't know, but hold on. Nvidia. You know what? I'll just search this. Coward. Cards came in the Dell XPS. In the Dell XPS 8500. I might be able to backtrace it from here. Okay, I think I found it. okay, I found it. Okay, so... Sound like I'm saying queso. Okay, so... Aw, that's fine, cutie. You need to get some sleep. But yeah, also... Okay, so I found out what graphics card it is. I'm pretty sure it's an NVIDIA GeForce GT 620. Or it might be a 640. No, or it might be a GT 640. It wasn't a 660 because that had 1.5 gigabytes of VRAM. So it definitely probably was either the 620, either the GT 620 or GT 640. But this was the original graphics card in my very first gaming PC I had as a kid. Not kid, damn it. I mean, outside of character, yeah, as a kid. As a kid and as a little angel, yeah. And looking back at this now, I am so glad I was able to eventually get a first major gaming PC later on. Because this thing sucked. It was honestly probably one of the worst, now that I look back on it, it was one of the worst graphics cards I've ever used. I have a GT 1030, by the way. I do have a GT 1030. I do have one in my collection. I do have a GT 1030 that was gifted to me at some point. I do have a GT6. I'm at GT 1030. It's a decent graphics card. And I did benchmark some games on it, like a couple years back, and it actually ran pretty decently for a Pascal generation NVIDIA graphics card. And if we're talking about other graphics cards, by the way, I do have some in my collection, by the way. I do have some. Let me put this old graphics card back. Ugh, okay. I want to keep it safe. To be honest, it might not work because the die is damaged a little bit. Yes, it's probably not going to work. I'm probably wasting my fucking time. If so, if I ever go back on eBay, I'm just going to buy one just for good memories. And just to build a computer just for that. But, damn cool. But yeah, I have a AMD R5 something. I forgot what it's immediately called. But this came out of a Dell Optiplex system. Forgot what it was. It's an AMD it's probably an R3 or R5 something. It's probably an wait. Nope, there's no writing, and I'm not taking it apart either, but I probably should do a hand cam stream at some point, showing you my stuff in my collection. That would be nice. And also another graphics card, which I did get from a saved from the recycling center, Dell XPS 8500. I did end up ended up getting a beast of a graphics card back in the day. I got me an AMD Radeon HD 7770DE. And it takes 6-pin power. And it's also got, I think, 2-3 gigabytes of VRAM. And then the other graphics card that I also have, which is installed in a computer, which is a NVIDIA 10 series that's got 3 gigabytes of VRAM. Forgot what it's called. But, yeah. And this has this has DVI, HDMI, and DVI-D. Yep. But yeah, and this also has a genuine heat warning. It's like the NVIDIA Fermi graphics cards back then. They would called Thermi. They would roast the card, naming it Thermi hence thermals, because it would have bad overheating issues and be a hot stove of a graphics card. But yeah, anyway, I'm glad I was able to rescue this and clean up and refurbish this AMD Radeon, or this AMD HD 7770D. It's a good bundle of graphics cards I got. And I've never seen one of my favorite computer YouTubers try one of these budget graphics cards. But this graphics card, a budget, old high-end graphics card, but this graphics card is basically called but if you look it up, it's actually the AMD Radeon HD 7770 GHz edition. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, it's an AMD. So yeah, it's an AMD. No, actually, it's an AMD Radeon HD 7770 gigahertz edition. Yep, and it's on the old architecture of Cape Verde. Cape Verde. It's a very nice graphics card. It really is, for what it was. So apparently, if you would have configured a Dell XPS 8500 back on Dell's website and configured it before buying it, you could have chosen an AMD Radeon HD 7770 gigahertz edition graphics card pre-installed from Dell. Instead, it looks like when my grandma did, not grandma, but when my grandma Angel did buy a Dell XPS 8500 from my childhood back then. So back then, it looks like they configured it with that Nvidia GT 620. Am I right? Yeah, 620 or 640. But yeah, I'll stop rambling for now, I guess. I hope you have a good sleep, Schmuggins, and I hope you have lovely, sweet dreams. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Or tonight when you wake up. That too. Because I'm probably going to be up tonight hanging out with my brother. Most likely. But yeah, I definitely should plan I should definitely plan. But yeah, I should definitely plan a hand cam stream, because I do got a webcam I can use. And I can show y'all some of my computer parts in my collection. But before that, I need to tidy up my room a little bit. Then I can be able to do it. And it looks like this graphics card supported all the way up to Windows 10. That's crazy. I bet you could get this to work on Windows 11, but actually, wait a second. I did get this to work on Windows 11. Excuse me, because I had a Windows 11 test bench set up to bench this graphics card. So actually, by the way, it does work on Windows 11. Crazy that it does, and the drivers function. Crazy, but it does. But yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. And also, that old graphics card that I have for my first gaming PC is in a GT 1030 box. And I put it in the anti-static bubble wrap packaging to protect it, because the 1030 is downstairs in the cabinet of the living room entertainment center or TV stand. So yeah, I do have that. And I do have another graphics card, but it's such a old, shitty graphics card that I'm probably just going to recycle it, to be honest. The next time I go to the recycling center, I'm probably just going to recycle it. If I have to be honest. If I have to be honest, that is. If I have to be honest, yeah, I'm just going to do it. I wasted my time just repasting it. I'm probably just going to recycle the one that I'm talking about, which is an old MSI, no fan, just heatsink cooled graphics card. I'm just gonna recycle it and just throw it in the garbage. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna throw it away. Yeah, I'm just gonna go throw it away, to be honest. It's too old, unless I wanted to build a retro system, but just to benchmark old retro games from back before I was born and stuff. You know? I could. But I do not have... Actually... No, I do have it. I do have one retro computer. But it's an unknown condition of if it's going to work or not. It's an unknown condition. Because the graphics card that is built in on it has weird display outs on it that I don't have. And a monitor that can support it. So I do not know what, to be honest. It's an unknown condition. But that is a retro enough computer. But here's the thing. It's an Apple computer. I don't have a retro Windows computer. And also, I'm not really interested in retro-like computers because if you're gonna try to transform it into at least a decent modern budget gaming PC or do something else with it, you really can't. But I gotta pee. I'll be right back though. Give me a moment. Alright, sorry about that. I am back. I am back. I am back in black. But no, I am back. I just had to... No, I just went to go talk to my grandparent angels, by the way. It's really good. But yeah. And it had a one... Oh, yeah. But back to that childhood computer, it did have a 1 terabyte... no, it did have a 1 terabyte Seagate 7... It did have a 1 terabyte... But it did have a 1 terabyte 7200 RPM... No, it did have a Seagate 1 terabyte 720... What? Wait, what? What? Wait, what? But wait, wait, what? But yeah. Oh. Well, guess what's wrong. But yeah, it had a Seagate 1 terabyte 7200 RPM hard drive with, and of course with integrated Intel HD something graphics, because it had a modern Intel Pentium processor. And like I said, and Windows 8.1. and Windows 8.1. It was it was a nice computer, but it eventually got upgraded to Windows 10 because I was so excited for Windows 10 back then when it first came out. So I immediately upgraded every computer in the household to that. And I kind of felt bad afterwards because I really liked Windows 8.1 and I got nostalgic for it. And I got nostalgic for it quickly, by the way. And then I regretted my decision. Because there was a downgrade window. Not like there was a downgrade like time window, but if you pass a certain amount of days, it goes away and you can't downgrade to an older Windows. Not to the older Windows, not into the old Windows OS you upgraded from. But yeah, I think it's time for us to hang out and just like watch some YouTube videos. I think it's time. Well, I think it's time for that. I think it's time for that, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's time for that. Let's watch some YouTube videos. That's crazy. Oh! Whoa! Whoa, no!
Hi guys, welcome to TechBased. In this video, we're talking about the huge Windows 11 25H2 May 2026 update. This is the
I'm just wanting to watch this first because I want to see if there's going to be any more other updates to the new Windows 11 updates coming soon.
For the monthly feature update for Windows 11 25H2. It is right now available on the release preview channel, but it will be released on the main release in about 1 or 2 weeks time. In this video, we also have a quite expected new feature, which we're gonna cover. But first of all, let me show you the build that I'm talking about that was just released, and the build is 26200.8514 for version 25H2 or build code KB5089573. So in this video, video, as always, we're gonna cover everything that is new, that is fixed, and that is changed in this latest build that will be released as well on the main release very soon. So if you enjoy videos like these, please don't forget to leave a like below and also subscribe to the TechBase channel with the notification bell activated so that you won't miss any future uploads like this one. So let's begin with the video. First of all, if you want to get this update, you have to be on the release preview channel, so make sure you double check that. Go into the settings app, Windows Update, then inside the Windows Insider program, make sure that where it says choose your insider settings, you are on the release preview channel. Of course, then you have to go to Windows Update, make sure you enable get the latest updates as soon as they are available, and then click on check for updates. In this build will be offered to you. It was released a few hours ago, so you should be getting it. Now let's move on to all the new features, improvements, and fixes that were applied in this build. Some of you may not know that the shared audio feature was postponed from the last month's update, so that's why even if you had
Okay, that's really cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
compatible devices and
Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
devices that support
That is really cool.
you were seeing the feature, but Microsoft is announcing that they are finally releasing it with this update. And the shared audio feature basically enables two people to listen to the same audio from a single Windows 11 PC at the same time. And it uses the Bluetooth LE audio broadcast technology. And you're going to have the option available inside quick settings, of course, if you have compatible headphones or earbuds that use this feature. We also have some
That is so
improvements
cool.
related to magnify
I'm definitely
this build. And
hold on. Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to that, to be honest. I am.
Microsoft is announcing
That's
that
really cool.
Magnifier now provides clear and more consistent announcements when working with a screen reader. You'll hear helpful announcements when you zoom in or out, switch views, turn color inversion on or off, or turn magnifier on or off. This makes it easy to stay oriented while you work. Also, it now supports magnification of permitted protected content, and it also improves smoothness when moving magnifier in lens mode. So of course, you can check all of these options inside this latest build once all the features are rolling out to you. Related to the Task Manager, Microsoft is also applying a few improvements. First of all, they are offering improved visibility into NPU usage.
Oh, I
on
love the
PCs
colored
with an
accents
NPU,
it
of
copied.
course. And you're going to have here on the processes section and also users and details pages the new optional NPU and NPU engine columns, and also on the details page some new NPU dedicated memory and NPU shared memory optional columns that you can find here, and of course you can add them if you want. On the performance page, there are also a few improvements so that the
There we
new
go, so I can
engines
have
that are
privacy.
part of a GPU now appear here on the performance page. And in the processes and details pages, you're going to be able to see a new optional isolation column that shows you which apps are running.
Hold on a second. I like that wallpaper. Alright.
In an app container. Also, this update
Nice.
improves CPU speed display on the performance page of Task Manager for VMs, so it doesn't show higher than expected numbers after resuming from Hibernate. Related to cameras, there are also a few improvements in this build. So if you have a supported camera, Microsoft is adding a multi-app camera feature, which allows multiple applications to access your camera stream at the same time, and it also have different
What?
policies that you can enable if you want to use the multi-app camera mode.
Oh my god. That... Holy shit. So let me get this straight. You can connect your phone. For example, you have a, a Samsung Galaxy S20. Randomly, by the way. You connect it with the Windows phone pairing feature. Sync it up. Get everything connected. And you can use your phone's camera, stream it directly to Windows, and use it to that. Mind blown. What?
Now, one of the new features that most of us expected is a feature called by Microsoft General Performance, and Microsoft is stating that this update accelerates app launch and core shell experiences such as Start Menu, Search, and Action Center. This is basically the new low latency profile that Microsoft is adding on the release preview channel. So this means that on the main release, we're going to have the low latency profile in about 1 or 2 weeks time. For those of you who are not familiar with the low latency profile, this is basically part of Windows K2, Microsoft's internal plan to fix Windows 11 and make it faster in terms of performance. And basically how this low latency profile works: once enabled, whenever you launch apps or certain Windows parts, it will boost up the CPU frequency, not the CPU usage, to its max for a few moments so that the process is way smoother. So for example, launching the start menu or launching quick settings or the search section will be way faster because of this new low latency profile feature. According to certain tests, it should improve app launches by 40% and Windows in general by 70%. So I think that is pretty cool. So if you're on the release preview channel, you can check this build out and see if the low latency profile makes a difference for you. I've tested the low latency profile on different builds, also on the experimental channel, and I can say that I've noticed some differences in certain Windows 11 tasks. Related to Windows Hello, we also have some improvements. For example, this update optimizes the WinBIOS service to help reduce latency when resuming after modern standby, and also this update reduces Windows Hello enhanced sign-in security authentication unexpected blocks by resolving missing secure enrollment metadata. Related to storage, we also have some improvements. For example, inside system and then in the storage section, the dialog is updated when creating a dev drive to now support specifying the size in gigabytes instead of only megabytes. This has been added when changing the size of volumes inside this section. So if you want to create a dev drive, as you can see here, you can select the virtual hard drive size in gigabytes and other units. Microsoft has also improved settings in storage, so rather than seeing a
That is so cool. That is so cool. Would I use that? Probably not. But that is cool. It's going to be nice to have.
AC prompt.
Actually, now that I think about it, probably one of the computers I have behind me, I'm probably going to turn into like a test like bench, like for like Windows like update feature tests or other type of stuff. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do, to be honest. Then I can be able to like test different graphics cards or no, yeah, gaming test bench, like only dedicated to a test bench, like gaming graphics cards. You name it, installing custom features or mods or whatever. I'm probably gonna do that, to be honest. I'm probably gonna do that. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. That would be cool. And it's just one of these computers dedicated to just only experimental test stuff. Only that. Everything else, not gonna be done on that system, just that.
Or a user account control. When you go to the page, you'll only see it when you're trying to view temporary files.
That would be
cool. We
cool.
also have some personalization improvements. So for example, this update improves the color selection accuracy when adjusting your accent color to match your wallpaper when the automatic accent color selection is enabled in personalization and settings. I think that is also really nice. And this update also improves wallpaper persistence reliability across restarts and upgrades, including better support for large resolution wallpapers and other scenarios to prevent solid color wallpaper fallback.
Let me go back.
Resolution wallpaper.
Let me go back.
Scenarios to
From the previous videos, I remember when he did that one. Nice.
prevent solid color wallpaper fallback. Related to USB, this update improves reliability for displays attached to USB 4 docks and hubs. These displays now light up more consistently, particularly when coming out of standby. And also the USB 3 stack is updated to have additional resiliency and recovery measures in place against certain unexpected hardware faults and conditions. Users will experience higher reliability with USB devices. Also related to sensors, this update improves the resiliency against apps that could keep the sensor hub powered and drain power in impacting battery life. Also, this update improves battery life related to HID and input stack for failed HID devices, and basically power usage has been also improved against applications that may initiate HID transfers during standby. Related to input, Microsoft has improved the reliability of invoking the touch keyboard on the login screen when inputting your password to sign in or changing your password. Also, the reliability of Explorer.exe when closing the input switcher has been improved so that there are no memory leaks, and also performance of invoking or navigating to.
So there was reported memory leaks in Windows 11. That ain't fucking. Oh, that ain't fucking good. that ain't fucking good. That ain't fucking good.
The clipboard
That ain't
history has
good.
been improved. Related to
That
fonts
ain't.
in this build, the times to
That
Roman
ain't good.
font families are needed to improve the rendering of
That
combining
ain't
the
good.
critical
That
marks
ain't.
across Greek and Cyrillic scripts. This update
That ain't
provides
good.
more accurate
That
and visually
ain't.
consistent text by addressing mark positioning issues. As a result,
Damn.
readability is improved, rendering inconsistencies are reduced, and support for global language users working with Greek and Cyrillic text is strengthened. We also have some small improvements in fixes. For example, the task scheduler will now persist column width adjustments in task list view across sessions. Also, desktop icons have been improved so that they're more reliable
Alright, there
when
we
you're
go.
loading up the desktop icon shortcuts. There are also some updates related to the Microsoft Store. For example, this update includes underlying changes to improve download performance and bandwidth usage, and also this update improves error reporting when downloads fail because of Windows Update group policy being enabled. Related to reliability, this update improves the Windows reliability on the sign-in and lock screens in File Explorer when using touch gestures on touchscreen devices and when changing themes and settings. And finally, related to secure boot, with this update, Microsoft and Windows quality updates include additional high-confidence device targeting data, increasing coverage of devices eligible to automatically receive the new secure boot certificates. Devices receive the new certificates only after demonstrating sufficient successful update signals, maintaining a controlled and phased rollout. This is basically the May 2026 feature update for the release preview channel, and soon enough on the main release. I think this is quite an interesting update because mainly we have the new low latency profile available, the new improvements for Windows 11, which should make Windows 11 faster, as I've said, and app launches by 40% and Windows in general by 70%. Please let me know below in the comments your opinion on this update, and of course more information about this you're going to be able to find in the article below in the video's description or on the official Microsoft blog post. I'm also going to make an in-depth video in which I'll show you how to manually enable all the new features because, as we all know, they're slowly rolling out, so not everyone may get the new low latency profile.
That's very, very cool. I can't wait for it. Holy shit, lots of cool features. Now this is what I want to watch.
Suspicious. The twist tie, which is securing nothing.
I don't remember if we watched this last stream. I don't think we did.
The twist tie, which is securing nothing to anything, is symbolism for life. We really need CyberPower to stop screwing up its thermal configuration because this pre-built PC overall is excellent. They've done a lot of stuff really well with this pre-built. We were happy with it, except for the CPU thermals, where it's throttling and it's dropping 200 megahertz across all cores. This is a 9800X3D pre-built system. We bought it because we were specifically looking for two things. One was a configuration we thought we might actually recommend and like, and the other one was to see if CyberPower could, for the first time in 10 years now of us reviewing their systems, not screw up the thermals. They failed on one of those. Now, AMD still gets shafted by big OEMs and by system integrators. They regularly are left out of the discussion, but lately that's been changing. And that's been particularly the case with Intel 13th and 14th gen degradation issues. So this having a 9800X3D, that was exciting. The Thermaltake 470M that we reviewed, that we actually liked, that had a 7800X3D.
Yep. And that's why modern Intel's degradation issues. So that's honestly why my gaming computer that I have right now has an AMD socket, and it's got an AMD Ryzen 5600, by the way. 6-core processor. 6-core, 12 threads, I think. And the processor's really fucking awesome, to be honest. It's really great. I fucking love it, man.
And
I don't have to worry about degradation issues like Intel. Like Intel. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Intel.
did pretty
Yeah.
well. We liked that system overall. So we
Crazy.
wanted to buy this to just see how a 9800 XRD configuration would do for a pre-built system. And we bought this before the 50 series GPUs were announced. So I think we bought it first week of December or last couple days of November, something like that. And back then, this configuration was about a $200 markup on DIY cost, which is excellent. That's actually pretty damn good price positioning for a pre-built. CyberPower has historically been one of the cheapest in terms of sort of the overhead from DIY versus their competition, and that's why we really want them to set it up properly. So let's get into it. Before that, this video is brought to you by the Antec Flux series of cases. We previously benchmarked and independently reviewed the Flux Pro case and found it to be one of the best cases we tested last year. The Flux Pro features the modern trend of wood accents while also focusing on a high airflow design. We found its performance to be among the best in our thermal testing. The case also has a number of ease of installation features to make assembly and cable management easier. Learn more at the link in the description below. So we bought this pre-built with our own money so that we could be the customer. We do this for pre-built reviews. Actually, most of the things we review these ways, we've been trying to buy them, including the 5090 partner models, all that stuff. Which can cause delays because since we're acting as a customer, that means there's not special access when we try to go that route. So it's a balance. Sometimes we take review samples, sometimes we buy it. But for pre-builds, we've been buying them all for a long time. And it's because so much of this comes down to the actual build assembly that if the company has a team of people looking at it before it goes to us as a known reviewer getting sampling, free sampling, then we're not really getting the real experience. So anyway, this was another in the lineup. We've been trying to buy systems that we think are good. We're actively filtering for ones that we think will do well lately because there were so many bad ones. The 470M was a great look at that. And then the Asus G22CH-DH978, I think was the name. And if it's not, then it doesn't matter because you shouldn't buy it anyway. That was a terrible pre-built. Here's a reminder. And as for where the power supply is getting its air from, the answer is... the answer appears to be another dimension. So, that's good. So we jumped on this system from CyberPower PC.
Yeah.
It was a daily deal. They have these on the
Asus,
website where they have
like
lower
he
price
says,
systems.
but
It
like
has
they
a
say on
Ryzen
the game,
90
like they say at
100
Gamers
with a good
Nexus,
configuration on paper at what looks reasonable for the price, at
Asus
$1,865.
all over it.
And again, that's before the 50 series was announced. So it was also a rotating daily deal. It came in and out.
I don't
The
say
guy who
Asus,
manages
I say
our shipping
Asus.
for the GN store has a saying,
Asus,
which is
Asus,
getting
Asus,
cyber-powered.
Asus all
CyberPower's
over it.
MO
But
is
no,
a
I say
little
Asus.
less about cringe marketing and more about
That's how I say it. That's how I grew up
absolutely
saying it,
flooding
okay?
and overwhelming you with configuration
That's how I do
while shopping. Just look at this insanity. Not even counting the multiple base SKUs and rotating options like this daily deal. Once you get into customization, it is utterly overwhelming.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Everything is just $20
That's how I say
more,
it.
just another $10, just another $15. It takes the car model of adding every small piece of trim, and somehow at the end you end up paying 30% more. So look at this for an example. This is completely insane. We really hope the web developers at CyberPower get paid per radio button because that's the only way this many radio buttons make sense.
Okay,
The
remind me
pages are
if
so
I'm
long.
ever going to be able to finance a gaming computer in the future. Remind me to never go to CyberPower PC. Or let me go to, or don't reminds me to never go to CyberPower's website. I should probably just go to Origin PCs or some shit. Like I researched it in last stream, but actually buying it with credit or something.
With add-ons, that Firefox literally refused to screenshot the whole thing. Some of this is good.
Yeah, that's absolute crazy. That is.
We like options, but this is the...
Duptena. 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 But no, hell no. Hell no.
CyberPower way. And so we get back to we got cyber-powered. Now, in this instance,
We got cyber powered.
we didn't add anything to the system. We wanted to buy it kind of as they present it because we think that's what most people who don't know what they're doing will do. and that's kind of our objective, is to test it from the perspective of someone who has as little knowledge about systems as possible, so we can help them make a purchasing decision. So we didn't change the add-ons, but in practice, it's not like it's
yeah, remind me to
bad
never do
thing
that,
to
by the
do.
way.
It's just, it's their way of operating, and that's fine. It's just a lot of radio buttons. So as long as you don't hate radio buttons, probably it's fine. If you prefer checkboxes, you need to go somewhere else, I guess. There are a lot of good things about this PC on the surface. The on-paper part choice made sense. Scale management is excellent. General value is pretty damn good for a pre-built. But there's at
Yeah.
least one massive negative, and it's the
Crazy.
CPU thermals, and we'll come back to that. This table has the parts. Remember that we're looking at the data from back when we bought it, not today, because we want to judge it against the time of purchase. So that was in the very first week of December or last week of November. Pricing for the CyberPower system is good to average, with a $200 premium over DIY for the exact parts at the time. The wildly popular 9800X3D is still going in and out of stock, making it frequently above MSRP due to third-party opportunism, but we're showing it as $480 for the sake of this chart because it restocks frequently, it can be bought for MSRP with patience, and we don't think you should pay a scalped price for it. The Bits Power 240mm liquid cooler and the white-labeled CyberPower case can't be purchased retail from anywhere we saw, so we subbed those out with reasonable alternatives for DIY comparison. 32GB of DDR5 6000 is the right choice for this AM5 Ryzen gaming system, so that's good to see. RAM is a common area that pre-builds screw up since they underspec the speed, but this is good. The 2TB capacity on the SSD is also good.
Rosewell.
The Asus Prime
Rosewell.
motherboard actually is great to see here because
I haven't
it's an
heard them in a hot
off-the-shelf
minute, to be
model, which
honest.
means it has public drivers, it has a public BIOS, and you can maintain it yourself. You don't need to wait for special SI versions of BIOS and drivers. So this is good to see. The 1000 watt power supply is overkill for this 9800X3D and 4070 Super configuration, but at the very least, it keeps the door wide open for future GPU upgrades for anything currently available, even to a used 4090 sometime in the future. The only place you might get limited is 5090 or something with the transients, depending on how well the power supply handles those. Overall, the paper listing of the specs is great. There's no proprietary bullshit. The parts list makes sense to us. And now we're gonna just move into the teardown and the testing. Okay, so now time to tear it down. I know the thermal results, they're bad, and we'd like to figure out why that is. Hopefully, I guess, it's just that the CPU cooler doesn't contact the CPU. I mean, look, that's a really bad thing, but at least it would mean the configuration might otherwise work. So let's do a quick walk around the system. First thing up, they've got a dust filter on top of the exhaust. So this is not necessary, and it's going to impede it a little bit. I did notice that there's a little bit of a quality control issue here. We also noticed this damage. Jeremy saw this when he was doing the intake and the review. Not a big deal, but the screw is I don't know if it's actually cross-threaded, but it is definitely at an angle. So the case itself, there's things I like, there's things I don't like. One of the things I like
I think
is
I'll
the
watch
door.
this
So
in my
up here,
free
you can see
time,
they've even
but
got a marking for it. They've got
I
this
do not
indentation,
think I've watched
and,
it on stream, though.
then that,
And I don't
obviously,
remember
is
what's
just
in
the
this
top of
video
the glass
anyway.
panel. So that's kind of a nice, simple mechanical feature. They did perforate it. The porosity is low. There's a lot of metal here. The white painting they did on it is also eating some of that whole area. And so, although it looks heavily ventilated, it's just kind of mediocre. It's definitely a lot better than what CyberPower used to do, which was a glass wall. And then this is completely obstructing fans. So if you get a shot down here, you'll see that it's just an LED strip. So it's not like there's a hole back there for air. And so there's a fan behind this, which is doing very close to nothing, unfortunately. The bottom, so there's technically a hole in here, but I mean, between the filter and this foot, it's less than 1 millimeter of space to breathe. And so that power supply is getting choked for probably about 40% of its actual intake area.
That
on the
ain't good.
bottom. Now, on the positive side, this filter pulls out from the front. So that's nice. Rather than doing a small separate piece for the power supply in the back, you can pull it from the front, which means you don't have to pull it away from the wall just to clean the filter. So that is actually good. It's unfortunate that they've really choked the intake here at the bottom. For other intake stuff while we're on it, just really quickly. So the back fans are another area where there's room for improvement. You'll see this rail
Yeah,
So
it's obstructing
they
some
have
of the
basically,
fans'
like,
airflow.
80 millimeter.
It looks weird. I
grill
don't know if I
here,
like
and
that
then,
design. That's weird.
The whole spacing ends up like they didn't perforate any of this, and so they're covering like probably 20% of the fan between these two things, and then just all the other normal grilling. So this should be perforated to let it breathe a little bit better as well. Normally, not a big deal. In this case, we're just going to really inspect for thermal problems. Let's get the back off as well. Credit to them. The thumb screws are removable with hands, not tools. That's not always the case. Cable management first. This is always the easy part. Pretty good. Oh, so it's just a single 8-pin, I guess, on the other side. We'll see that in a second. So they tied the unnecessary one down. They went through and they zip tied everything.
And the power supply is non-modular. That's your problem.
I don't know what this twist tie is doing. I think it's an artistic expression. The twist tie, which is securing nothing to anything, is symbolism for life. We're all just floating kind of aimlessly in space, and that's what this twist tie represents. I think Banksy probably did it. Not sure what the twist tie is for.
That's funny.
Not the biggest complaint. I'm not going to take off points for that. The rest of this, they've got just a really cheap PCB for all the RGB cables. That's what these are. Looks like one might be bent. We'll look at that in a second. You can actually see in here that one's labeled. So the reset switch is plugged into that PCB, and that's going to the front panel, and then this is presumably plugged in somewhere else. We'll find that in a minute. There might be a Molex centipede down here. Nope, just one pair of Molex. All right, well, cable management's not bad. There's really not a lot of places for them to pass through though. So they were definitely doing hard mode when they cable managed it. So internally,
True.
the RAM's in the right slots, that's good. These cables are fully seated. These are fully seated. That is a 12 volt 2x6 or 12 volt high power, can't tell yet. So that's seated properly, that's good as well. They've got a Bits Power 240 cooler that's been rebadged for CyberPower here, so that's their logo and their mirrored finish. And that's what we really need to inspect. So let's get this flat and start looking at it. I'm gonna start with the cooler. Normally I'd do everything else first, but I have to know what's going on here. It's possible this cooler is just trash. We've never tested this one standalone.
True.
In the past, I don't know if it's CyberPower or iWayPower, but someone had like a millimeter air gap between the CPU and the cooler. Let's just see if that's what it is. These were all fully seated, so no loose screws or anything. Okay. So they did have this cable. That's not great. That coil down there, they had that coiled around the screw.
Why?
So that may have been causing it to be unlevel. I don't know if that's exactly what it was, but this.
Why would you try to route the cable like that?
That's
aren't you afraid of like snipping or clipping the cable?
Actually crazy. I don't know why you would do that. I'm hoping it was just a mistake, but that's not a good mistake. We're gonna have to disconnect this from the back. That was violent. We're gonna get 2 in 1 here, I guess, and inspect the RGB connections while we're at it. That was fine. That was fine. Yeah, those were actually pretty damn secure. That was good. Cool. Well, maybe that's a positive here too. Those were they were super secure. I don't know if they did anything special, but all right. There's definitely a contacts problem. We spent some time inspecting this. The quick version is that the paste pattern showed us that there was not good contact, so the pressure application between the cooler and the CPU IHS was pretty bad. It was also uneven. That could have been caused in part by the cable that was coiled around the screw. We're not sure. But either way, contact was bad. The paste was not spread. So we think it was an issue where the cooler wasn't making good enough contact with the IHS, and it wasn't.
That's not good at all. That's horrible.
Another option is just that the cooler is really bad. We haven't tested it standalone because it doesn't matter. All that matters to us is does it pass in this configuration as they sell it as a pre-built. But ultimately, we had enough evidence to suggest that the assembly here was problematic. whether or not the cooler can handle the CPU. And 240 should be enough if the cooler is not trash, but very disappointing to see, and this is actually a problem we've seen from CyberPower in the past. Time to get into testing. CPU cooling is the largest problem this system has, so we'll start with...
Very, very crazy. What the hell? That! Whoa. Yeah, very crazy to be honest.
For CPU thermals versus fan speeds over time during a full system torture workload.
Yeah,
TI jumps
very
over 90
crazy.
degrees Celsius as soon as the test starts, then dips as the CPU fans ramp to try to keep it under control and as the GPU load prepares to run. The fan ramp comes with an acoustic cost, we'll look at that later, and as for the rest, we can see that the AIO pump and the front panel fan speeds don't change at all, even as the CPU hits 95 degrees Celsius. This is terrible. The pump is fine because it's maxed out, but the relatively low 1200 RPM on CPU_optional isn't ideal, and maybe due to specific fan choice topping out. It could be due to some inherent behavior of the CPU optional header, which isn't directly controllable in BIOS. But either way, what's clear is that this temperature is totally unacceptable. It's unfortunate because a lot of other aspects of this machine have been good. This has been our historic experience with CyberPower, though. They just really don't seem to understand thermal configuration. They screw it up all the time. And in the past, there was a computer we reviewed where we said it was a good deal as long as you pulled the cooler and put your own on it after you bought it, which does kind of kill the reason you buy a pre-built, unfortunately. So extremely disappointed
Mustard
to
and
see
ketchup
this.
cables.
As a reminder, the 9800X3D, it's not like the 7950X or the early AM5 silicon. The CPU doesn't boost to 95C. It just runs against its power limit. The chip is remarkably easy to cool when considering its performance, and yet somehow CyberPower has failed to cool it. We'll talk more about what caused that failure in the conclusion. CPU frequency is next. This shows the performance impact of running against the 9800X3D's temperature limit like this. The CyberPower system CPU cores averaged out to 5023 MHz during the CPU-only portion of our test. That's 200 MHz lower than in our original review of the 9800X3D. This is a gigantic drop when considering it's applied across all cores. This indicates that the CPU is not able to consume enough power to keep clocks high because it's thermal throttling. So again, huge disappointment for an otherwise promising system. A drop of 200 megahertz is massive when looking at an all-core load, and this is it's just sad to see. We next manually set the fans to 100% in BIOS, but even this wasn't able to keep the CPU under 95C, partly because the fans were eventually ramping to 100% anyway. It may help boost slightly higher initially, but it doesn't resolve the throttling. The rest of the system's thermals also remained within variance between the two configurations. GPU, chipset, SPD hub, which is RAM, and drive temperatures were within the expected ranges. The 67-degree GPU temperature is good here, though. Get your shot glasses ready, because next up is testing in our hemi-anechoic chamber. Acoustic testing in our hemi-anechoic chamber underscores the immediate fan ramp, as it instantly jumped from the idle average of 31.6 dBA to 37.9 dBA average under load. That's louder than we'd like to hear at both ends of the spectrum, but it's also a huge and instantaneous change, and that's the part that really matters here. There's no gradual ramp. It just instantly dumps an extra 6 dBA of noise as soon as there's a load, and that's something that any end user would notice. Subjective analysis of the noise profile doesn't turn up any harsh tones, just the typical sound of loud fans. Here's a sample. Power testing's next, tested at the wall.
That's annoying.
CyberPower chose a large enough power supply. Logging power at the wall shows a very flat, steady state with an average of 500 watts during our torture workload of Blender on the CPU and 3D Mark Port Royal on the GPU. This level of load is uncommon in gaming scenarios where loading both components completely, and so it's generating as much heat as it can and pulling as much power as it can, basically. This puts the 1000-watt power supply at 50% capacity, leaving a ton of headroom and keeping the power supply in a good spot on its efficiency curve. Time to get into BIOS, operating system, and software or bloatware presence. Booting into BIOS showed version 3042.
That's a cool looking
this is from
BIOS.
October 22nd of 2024. That's one version out of date from when we purchased it at the very end of November, first week of December. We looked for the most up-to-date version at the time of purchase, but within a month is overall pretty good. The Expo memory profile was enabled, ASUS's performance enhancement was disabled, and almost everything else was set to auto. CyberPower has a clean BIOS setup that we agree with overall. The only change we'd like to see is disabling the Armory Crate bloatware installer and future Day Zero exploit, which is unfortunately a default setting. But Expo and disabling Asus's enhancements are both correct, so those were good. Windows setup itself was normal and not appended with any third-party software agreements. The desktop was clean, there wasn't bloatware. The only extra software at all was Asus's Aura RGB software, which technically adds functionality.
Which, that's
The new
fair.
NVIDIA
That's
app
honestly
was
fair, to be
pre-installed
honest.
with driver version 566.36, which is actually from December 5th, and that was
Which,
awesome
that's
to
fair,
see,
to be
'cause
honest.
That's the latest
That's fair.
version as of the purchase. It would have gotten installed basically right as the thing went out the door. They probably put this on there and then shipped it immediately. So this was awesome to see. There were no missing drivers in Device Manager either, which is also good. There also weren't any stray files left behind. Having a driver from right when we purchased, again, it's awesome to see. So good job to CyberPower on that side. Overall, software setup is solid for the system. The entire aspect of pre-builts has so many potential pitfalls that getting it right in BIOS and software deserves commendation. Packaging was fine. It wasn't that exciting. The box showed typical shipping wear we see when not double boxed. Double boxed is preferred. They didn't do that. The interior of the PC had a large pack of expanding foam protecting the GPU from impact. That is what we'd like to see, so that's another area where CyberPower excels.
The way he was
Accessories
playing with it,
included
that's
with
funny.
the CyberPower PC system were better than average. The RGB keyboard featuring volume roller isn't particularly
Is that the same
good.
one I have? No, it does not. No, is it the same one I have? No, it's a newer one. It's over there instead of over here. Doesn't have that. The keys have different. Okay. Cool.
Easily clears most of the garbage tier
Cool.
peripherals we're used to seeing with pre-builds.
Cool.
The bag inside held a Game Pass promo card, a quick start guide, USB stick card, and invoice, as well as the usual motherboard package. The mouse surprisingly has thumb buttons. That alone gets it the It's Better Than Dell award. The quick start guide is good. Step 1 guides the user to remove internal packing foam and to inspect for loose cables. Step 2 instructs the user to use the display connectors on the GPU instead of the motherboard, which is the most common mistake. And step 4 takes care of the second most common by showing turning the power supply switch to on. The strangest thing included is the USB drive embedded into a fold-out card. At first, we thought this might be the usual thing and contain drivers and maybe a manual or something. Instead, it acted like malware. Plugging the USB drive into the system triggers a script that rapidly opens Run, and then you can watch as it types in the URL for cyberpowerpc.com/share. This launches the default browser to that address and looks incredibly suspicious in the process. You can see from our capture footage that we incredulously did it again just to make sure of what we saw. The page it takes you to isn't even useful. It's just a landing page to push you to write a review of the system in exchange for 2 $10 gift cards 2 to 4 weeks after approval. So, great. Even
Oh.
worse, the USB device doesn't show up as an actual drive in Windows or Device Manager, rendering it an utter waste of resources. It wasn't malware, but it sure acted like it. We really would have liked to recommend this system outright. We just can't the way it's set up. It's close. It's real fucking close. But they just screwed up in
Yeah,
one
real
specific way,
close.
which is the thermals. And it reminds me of a pre-built review we did probably in 18 or 19 or something, maybe 2020, but several years ago, where it was a CyberPower PC, and our conclusion was, it's good, but the first thing you need to do is replace the cooler. And that's kind of what this is. It's like, this is a system that you need to be like a really weird mix of savvy with computers and an enthusiast, but also wanting to buy a pre-built and also still okay with manually making changes to it. So if you're in that group where you're like, I know computers, but I don't have time to build one, but I do have time to change the CPU cooler, then this is the computer for you. So if you're one of those people, or you're making a recommendation for family or something, and you're okay with changing some of it, I don't know.
I don't know, I'm
that's
just being
how we
silly.
have to
Don't mind me.
rationalize the purchasing for this. It's not
Yeah,
easy
don't
to
mind
say,
me.
yeah, it's good if you want to buy it. I'd love to be able to say that, but we can't. And so this system, it's one step short of greatness. It does a ton.
Cool. Cool. Anyway. Let's watch something else. Jeez. What?
I have had 6 concussions over the last several years of my life, ranging back to when I was a preteen in gymnastics.
I don't know who you are, but that's depressing. Ha! New VGA, that's funny. Oh. It is if I could fucking play the fucking goddamn game. But I fucking can't play shit. The game is way too graphically intensive. Oh, shit. That's scary. What? Awesome. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Mm, okay. I might have to start streaming. Stop streaming. I'm tired. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the stream. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and end. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the stream. What is the word called? Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the stream. Yeah, yeah. I'm just going to end. No, self-care. Yeah, self-care is really important. Yeah, self-care is really important. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to end the stream. I'm not gonna choose the raid, so I can go nap. But yeah. Thank y'all so much for coming. I will stream tomorrow, hopefully around in the morning, and I'll see y'all then. Thank y'all so much for coming, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Alright, bye-bye.